A man that first looks at your body before anything else is not a keeper, is not a man to keep.
Yeah.
Don't do anything just to please a man. Do it for your own satisfaction. A man will come and appreciate you as you are. Differentiate boys from men. Right now I can tell who a boy is, a grown-up boy that is, and a man. They can be both at their ages, or let me use 35, but there's one that will come as a boy and the other one will come as a man.
Hello everyone, my name is Martha and I'm happy to be here with you today, and of course this is Decoding the Process and I am your host Martha. Thank you very much for joining us today. I know it's a very big sacrifice for you to be here this time of the night, and I know you're going to be here to the end because we have a good story for you tonight. Of course, you've seen this woman before, and I know she has been of help to most of you in your singlehood journey. She has been able to give us a few nuggets in our previous show, and she has been able to share with us good stuff for us to really use in our singlehood period. That said, karibu sana, Rosa. Feel free to reintroduce yourself and of course to say something to us.
Sawa sawa. Asante sana. It's a pleasure to be here once again. Yes. Thank you for hosting me again.
Wow. Karibu sana. We are glad to have hosted you once more. Of course, you have been valuable. Okay, and we are grateful for what you have done. Yeah, so Rosa, I know now people know you already. So we'll go straight to the point, and we want to really understand. There's something that you mentioned, and we know that is something people are going through out here, especially single people, and even apart from, and as you said, you're single until you're married, and which is true. Until you're officially married, you're single, but we'll just say single, but dating, single, you know, all those things you are, but you're still singular. Singular. So yes, and that is for all those people out there. Anyway, so people in relationships, if you had shared with us that there's a period where you could enter a relationship one after the other because of some things, or rather a stage of your life you're in at that particular moment. And I would really want to understand. It was a season that we cannot say it was full of its own dramatic things. But I know you learned a lot. Looking at where you are right now, you look like you're much better. You're even wiser. You've grown. We really want to know how you are able to grow out of those relationships as a person. And of course, the basic lessons you learned as Rosa.
Okay. So from previous relationships, I learned a lot. First, there's no pleasure in having multiple partners, rather let's say not multiple per se, but there's no pleasure in dating one after another without healing, without learning what happened, the wrong that happened, so that the relationship ended. So I learned not to hop, step and jump. You see, get from one relationship to another and yet another without defining what I wanted. I learned how to differentiate men. By this I will say, I would easily, right now at my current stage, I will know who a serious person is, and I will also know who a joker is. Just from the glance or from a sitting or two, I'll be able to know who wants what in this relationship. And what else? I also got to know that define men deeply. Define men. You can never understand a man that fully. So I wouldn't say that I completely understand them, but I do know what I want. Now I go for what I want as compared to whom I want to please. Back then I was in a position. There's a time, I'll use this example. I've dated two different people, and there's one I've eaten excessively to add weight for because he loved curvy women. And so I want to appreciate this man, and I want him to be happy with me. So I used to overeat and overfeed myself just to get to a point where he appreciates me for the body. And I've also starved myself, killed myself, worked out excessively just to cut weight, because now this man appreciates slimmer women. You see, right now, at the space where I'm at, I do what I feel is right for me. If I feel like I want this tummy gone, I work on the tummy. Not for the man, but for myself. So that I've learned. I've learned not to please, not to do something to please a man, because that will not keep him if he's not to be kept. There was a time I used to be really big. And I was big because I believed he loved curvy women. And the curvy I get, the sexy I get for him. And he will retain me. But alas, we didn't end together. I've lost weight drastically. There was a time that I literally lost. I've never gotten to 60, but at that point I got to 60. And even at 60, he still saw me as big, still wanted me to be smaller. So I was literally draining myself just to please a man. So basically, right now, what I will tell ladies, or rather what I learned, is don't do anything just to please a man. Do it for your own satisfaction. A man will come and appreciate you as you are. First, and I've also learned that a man that first looks at your body before anything else is not a keeper, is not a man to keep. Because body changes. Body changes. Today you might have a fat woman, tomorrow she's slim. You might have a healthy woman today, tomorrow she's sick. Will you live because they are sick? So I've learned to appreciate all that. And differentiate boys from men. That also has been key, because right now I can tell who a boy is, a grown-up boy that is, and a man. They can be both at their ages, or let me use 35, but there's one that will come as a boy and the other one will come as a man. Yes, now I know how to differentiate the two.
Wow, I think I love what you're saying. I mean, especially in the first point, you know, if a woman never knows how to accept herself, they will never even be fully accepted by that person, because things keep changing. Life is full of changes.
True.
And especially for women, you know, for men, there is no basic, there are not so many changes in their lives, especially physical, unless, you know, they can't change so much. But for a woman, it's very unpredictable, because there's so many physical and biological things taking place in our lives. At some point, you even give birth. So you never can even predict how your body will behave at that particular point, isn't it? And of course, even as you grow older, our bodies begin to adapt to a particular stage, and you begin to grow thinner or even bigger without even eating, you know?
True.
So for ladies, you need to really accept yourself fully, very fully, because a man who really loves you will accept you for who you are. And we're not saying that you just lie down and become as lazy.
Yes, you don't just throw yourself just because
he should accept you or something. But of course, who you are at a particular point, as you make effort, does that person appreciate you for that? Because that person should really love you for who you are and not what you are. Not what my body is, not because she's beautiful, because nowadays people are even doing all this makeup because of men. People are doing all these things because of men.
Just to please a man.
Just to please men. Be yourself, and if you love makeup, do it. If you don't love makeup, don't do it. And that person will love you for who you are. I love it. And of course, for the second one, I mean, now we want to delve deeper into that. How, for instance, would you tell some specific characteristics that you look to? Of course, generally, and even you as Rosa, this is a boy and this is a man.
Now, a man knows himself. That is one thing that I've always... A man can define himself. A man can boldly stand in front of a woman or any other and appreciate the woman beneath. A boy will throw himself. A boy will sell what he has. He will tell you, I have cars, I have this business I'm running. He will throw money at you. That is one characteristic that I say is of a boy. A boy will tell you how good he can do stuff, how he can satisfy you as a woman. That is sexually and all that. But a man, in his mind and in his approach, first, he puts God first. He knows that in everything he is to do, God leads. And then he knows he would want to understand you as a woman. He would want to know your values, what drives you as a woman. He would want to know what limits where he can come and step in. A boy comes with a man comes with a value, a value attached to it or to the relationship. He brings value to the relationship. A boy will just come and expect you to lift him up as a woman because it is your role. Women, our society has defined that it is our woman's role to build a man. You're told behind every successful woman is a man. But who are you going to build? So someone will come, a boy will just come and say, nimepata mwanamke, huyu atanitengeneza. So he leaves every weight to you. Everything that happens is upon the woman, because if he lives outside there shabby, it's the woman behind that is not working. But a man comes already composed, a man is already collected, and he knows what he wants, he knows he is composed. All you need as a woman is just to support and give him a pat on his back as he grows. So you don't have too much weight on you just trying to lift a whole grown person to the next level.
Wow. I really love that. I mean, a man should understand where they're headed.
True.
Right? It's not me as a woman who's really coming to push him back and forth, telling him you should be doing this or building him, as you're saying. I should come to support him. And it's very biblical. We're coming to help.
Yeah,
we're coming to be people who are, you know, continuing something that exists. So men need to know who they are, where they are headed, and of course, be very satisfied and confident.
Yeah, he should carry a vision. Now, it's upon us to run with the vision, to push the vision through. Not just come and now expect us to start on the drawing board. What are we doing now that we are together?
Wow, so are you a full-grown man, a full-grown boy, or are you a male, or are you a man? You know, that is very interesting, because most of us rarely really get, you know, very candid with this. We assume just because I'm a full-grown boy, I must be a man.
Yes, I'm in my 30s, so I'm a man.
I mean, some people, nowadays even people get over 18 and they're like, I'm already a man. You know, manhood is worked.
It is work, and it is,
yes,
it's a title that is actually earned.
Wow, I really love what you're saying, and this is something we can discuss for quite some time. As we start wrapping up, there's something I would love to really hear from you. What are some of the things you would want to do better now that I know you're a lady who's still single and probably would want to be in a relationship? So in your next relationship, what are some of the things you want to do better as a person, or you feel are requirements for good relationships to succeed, from what you saw in the past that made, you know, those relationships fail? What are some of the things that connote a good and successful relationship?
So first, I would say move in with a peace of mind, knowing that you're ready first. So right now, I will know that I'm actually ready for a relationship before I get into one. So when you go there equipped and your mindset and your whole body, you get intentional into the relationship. So at least that I've known. Then two, from the word go, I would want my relationship with you defined. I've had jokes over here to wakiuliza, what are we, who are we? I don't subscribe to that. So if you call me on a date, yes, the first date, definitely I can't ask you where are we headed, and it's a first date. Labda ni coffee tu ameniitia, so I'll take my coffee. But the moment you move to start pursuing me, I will ask you of what do you want? I want it accumulate, clear and direct. Just shoot it. And let me be the one to cancel it, or let us cancel because we are not in a mutual agreement, but not because we are, not because I'm not sure of what I want. So shoot your shot, let me handle it. And be as clear as I want us to date, yes. And for me, right now, I want to date, and it has to be very brief, a short time dating. Then we move to courtship, then marriage. I believe in the 3 stages of relationship. So there's dating, courtship, and marriage. And before I get into marriage, how long are we giving ourselves? What time span are we giving ourselves in this dating, courtship, and marriage stage? If you don't have that time frame, or you're coming at it, we'll figure it out. I don't buy that right now. We are dating probably 3 to 4 months and see if it is workable or not. If it is not workable, we just move our way. We don't waste each other's time, and we also don't pretend. And we don't get into a relationship not knowing whether you're in or out. Or at some point, I thought that was my boyfriend, and they're not.
Wow. There's 2 things you've mentioned that are very important. One, being ready. And I really love that. Because many people just jump into relationships. They don't really know that it's not a reward. It's actually a very big responsibility awaiting you. Because you're really having somebody in your life. Secondly, you've talked about defining the relationship, which people do not. Just do it for the sake. So guys, you know all you want. But these are very common things that I feel all of us should apply. And it's experience that is speaking, my friend. I know this is to tell me what we say. I'm a character developer, and she knows what she's saying better than some of us because she's been through it. So one last thing as we conclude, I wanted to just pinpoint one specific experience that you can use to help somebody out here in 1 minute or so.
My experience.
One specific experience through that journey of learning, and
I would say one particular lesson, this one was I still mentioned it and I can still redo it, say it again, is do not do anything to please anyone. That is, by anyone I don't just mean man, I mean your family, I mean the society, because you might even get yourself into a relationship or a marriage because your parents wanted it to happen, and you deep down you didn't want it. So do not bend to pressure. Just do not bend to pressure. Pressure can kill you. Pressure can push you to the we normally say it's better a broken marriage or a single marriage than a dead daughter. Or I'm trying to get to one point that how I can frame it nicely, but don't push yourself to a level where you're going to drown, drain, and lose yourself in the process. Instead, just find yourself and build yourself up. And love will find you when it comes. It will find you.
Wow. I mean, for me, probably you might not really see the effect you have on basically so many people who are going through stuff like this out here. And those people who are still in the stage you probably were at that time, and now you're a better woman, which we automatically can see. Because there's so many people who have drowned just because of relationships. And that is a big strength. Being able to pull yourself out of these things and allow character to develop is not easy, because people, let me tell you, getting out of relationships is not easy.
It's not easy.
When I see anyone who was able to get out of one and develop themselves, for me it's a big strength compared to anything else. And I really, really love that. And we are grateful. I know the audience is also grateful for everything you've shared. And we know that we will have more of this even with time. And we know that she also has her own ongoing, show called All Things Rosa.
Yes. And on All Things Rosa, I touch on singlehood a lot. I talk basically on singles above 28, ladies above 28, and mainly in church, because that's where I see there's so much pressure and there's more pain, and people are hiding and they're not free to talk about it. So that's what I'm putting out there in All Things Rosa, amongst other things that will be coming.
Wow.
So just subscribe to my channel.
And I love the show because she's a very candid person. She's not just there to be seen or to talk about things. She's there to really share her journey and to help people who are going through the same. Because just as the word says, these things we go through, they are not uncommon. They are just common things we all go through in different ways. So as she shares her journey, I'm very sure it will help most and many of you in this platform. And because of that, we are grateful for you. And as we end this show, we know that so many people out there have been helped. And I'm going to be grateful more than just you being helped, help another person we helped, share this video and make sure it can reach as many people as possible for them to be able to get what you've been able to get. Apart from that, thank you very much. This is Wema TV, decoding the process. Be part of us every Tuesday at 9:45 p.m. Ciao.